Nick, what's it like being perfect?
I wouldn't know.
Perfect.
Are we all taking in this song right now?
You son of a bitch, Roger.
Just take it in.
You son of a bitch.
Just
Pretty
take it
quiet
in.
for me anyways, so I don't really care.
Take it in. Turn Danny up. Listen to it.
Do we need Eye of the Spider in here?
I don't want to commit suicide today, so no.
Swear to God, if Eye of the Spider is not one of the tracks that's included with Steve, I will riot.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Well, then I'm gonna fucking riot.
It's
I mean, that
Be
would
a
make it
one-man
all.
riot.
That would make it so worth it if it was.
all the tracks that are included are just brand new and not even part of the original game. So
Well,
Wasn't
not
it? I thought there was one that
technically
was-
brand new. Like, some of them are arrangements from like Minecraft Dungeons or whatever the fuck it was, the Diablo the Minecraft Diablo ripoff thing,
right.
and some of them are arrangements of that stuff.
So if you find folks out there can guess, Steve, who
It
is
happened.
he? What is he? Why is he? So to okay. Andy, thoughts?
Yes. Well, I forget if I ever was on record on the podcast for this, but I know that people have heard me say that there was only one character that could get into Smash that would ever actually upset me and make me say that is a waste of a slot. And I said it was Steve. It just there's so many other characters that I don't like, but I wouldn't care if they got in. And now we just have Steve, and I'm furious.
So what makes you more angry? The fact that he is in, or the fact after watching the gameplay footage of him that he actually looks kind of fun to play?
I was saying that after I saw the initial trailer. I'm like, you know what's going to really suck is I bet he's going to be fun to play. He's going to look like he's interesting, and that's just going to make it worse because I'm going to probably at least try him out a couple of times.
And he's going to be your new second favorite character.
Oh God, no one's going to replace Dark Pit in my heart. I think my biggest problem with Steve is just the character. I mean, I don't know if he's supposed to have a personality. I don't fucking know shit about that. Like, Minecraft was fine to me when it was just the sandbox game where you went in and you build stuff. There was no real goal. But then they added the fucking story mode for whatever reason, and I assume is that what Steve is from? Is he from the story mode or like?
No,
No.
he was always just the default skin. That's all he ever was.
Okay. But like the addition of like the story mode and all the like extra stuff just seemed so stupid, and I feel like that's kind of what drew a lot of other people into Minecraft. I mean, I can't say for sure. I didn't really follow a lot of it.
Well, I mean, if you ask me, I think what like really ruined Minecraft was like the survival shit that they started adding and like the weird magic system and stuff. It's like I didn't fucking need any of that. I thought the game was a hell of a lot better without all of that garbage. I don't think the story mode really did too much because, as I understand it, there's not a whole lot to it. Like, it gives you an end goal, but
It's
not really like an actual story, so to speak.
Yeah, it's just more exploration than anything. I mean, like, oh, I found the Nether and I can kill the Ender Dragon. It just means you get some end game items, but at the end of the day, it's still a sandbox game.
That's what I always thought was just weird because it seemed like it was just supposed to be like a sandbox game, and putting in an end game to it seemed weird.
Well, I think like the people who originally made Minecraft probably never anticipated it would become what it did.
Oh, they
'Cause
absolutely
it
didn't.
was just like a small little like indie thing. It wasn't even technically completed for years. It was basically just in early access or beta form or whatever.
It was You could buy it in its alpha stage. I think, Dave, you turned me on to it back in college.
Yeah, I remember you playing it like years and years ago, and like it
Sitting in the
was
closet
nothing
before
about it.
Deckelman's class, and then wasting the entire hour of Deckelman's class playing it. I am no stranger to the mining and the crafting, but somewhere along the way, had a falling out with that game, and now I just kind of hate it.
I still play it. In fact, this will probably be the background video. Is just me playing Minecraft because I don't play online. I just play the single player. I just like to just build shit and just have a good time. Slap some new shaders on it and whatever it is, the Optifine mod to kind of tweak the FPS a little bit, and that's all I need. I just I just mine and then I craft.
I mean, I do miss like back when Lulinx was still around. Am I allowed to say Lulinx? Is that still a secret internet club?
No.
Well, like the true Lulinx one, not the one that spawned off of the GameFAQs message board, not the GameFAQs message board that's still around. But I used to play that with Brian and just a bunch of Lulinx folks, and we had a server running, and had a couple mods on it and stuff, mostly for like preserving things like the admin. You could pay resources to have the admin preserve certain structures for you so they couldn't get destroyed and shit like that. And that was fun, but
and then they destroyed it.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like once the experience and the magic system and like the hunger and all of that got introduced, everything just kind of started going to shit from there, and I don't care about Minecraft anymore.
Yeah, another thing is like, didn't it get bought out by Microsoft at some point? Or like,
Yes.
and then like, I want to say it was probably before this, but like that's when we started seeing all this merchandise and stuff for it, and it just kind of turned into this franchise instead of just kind of this fun little side thing for people who are in the know to enjoy.
I feel like
the merch was far before the Microsoft acquisition.
Yeah, I thought
True,
so. I mean, I never really followed Minecraft, so I'm only really going by what I've just observed. So
now that I think about it, I almost feel as though Minecraft may be in part to blame for Funko Pop.
You think it popularized the kind of
I don't think so.
To a degree, I'd say it's possible.
Let's see if I can research Funko's biggest line.
I think it's stupid consumers that are to blame for Funko Pop.
Well, yeah.
People
but like
think it's good to collect stupid, shitty pieces of plastic.
I feel like Minecraft's like simplified style had to have, in some part, some way, shape, or form, inspired the creation of Funko Pop. It had to have. But
you'll be happy to know that of the top 20 Funko Pops, none of them are Minecraft.
I don't even know if Funko Pop has Minecraft.
I'm pretty sure they do, because I feel like I've seen them.
But
honestly, I'm surprised it didn't, because Funko Pop has pretty much everything, even relatively obscure stuff. And Minecraft is hardly obscure, so.
Yeah, they have. Here, I'll post a picture of it. It's just like 5 pieces or something. They're very generic.
Being on Nerd all day.
Damn, I'm getting sick of looking at those porn pics from a few podcasts ago.
Yeah, I accidentally opened up that page while I was at work.
You getting tired of seeing Internet Channel Chan getting railed?
No, I mean, I'm getting more tired of the Alex Mercer stuff, but...
Well, then scroll down.
Well, I know, but I always happen to get like a glimpse of it, not on purpose. I'm like, oh, God damn
it. You brought this on yourself, Nick.
Well, because I was the one who mentioned there being Minecraft Funko Pops. Or no, I was the one that brought it back. Okay, never mind. But Roger was the one who posed the question, would you have sex with Alex Mercer? So,
but he never would have posed that question had you not brought up Alex Mercer.
Well, we could keep going down this rabbit hole forever if you're going to go by that logic. So.
Anyways, Steve.
So there's a lot to unpack about that character. I will say...
sorry, I just think he's a really boring character. Like, as far as just design and everything. It just, I think
Well,
that's
yeah.
kind of what bothers me too. I get the simplicity, but I don't like it.
Well, at the
See
same
what-
time, you pay for these character packs, and he just seems like a really cheap addition to it.
Well, like his moveset, absolutely not. But like as far
Yes.
as aesthetics are concerned, I think he, Alex, the Enderman, and the zombie fucking look awful and out of place, and not in like a haha, they don't look like they fit, that's so cute kind of way. They look awful in an awful, this doesn't belong here kind of way.
Like
Like,
Game and
yeah,
Watch fits better.
Yeah, I was gonna say even Game and Watch at least looks like he belongs there. Even like the Game and Watch stages look like when you throw other characters on top of them, it's like okay, it seems plausible.
well, I
But,
mean,
you
what seems
characters on the Minecraft stage, and it's just like, what are they doing here?
What
And,
seems so
vice versa.
fucked up about this is that it basically just straight up looks like Minecraft assets ripped out and thrown into Smash. Like if someone showed me this, video or an image from this video, I would just accuse them of, using Photoshop and just saying it's a bad fucking Photoshop job.
Well, the videos, I think some of them had to say like footage from Smash Bros. So people wouldn't get confused. Because it does just look like Minecraft.
I mean, I guess in a way they kind of, maybe that's what they're going for, trying to replicate the look of the original game.
Well, like this, it's not replicated though. It's just it straight up is.
Yeah,
It's
straight
just
up
ripped.
copy and pasted.
And I think that's kind of the
It seems like they kind of tried to tailor them to fit better.
like
The stage is like 30 or what was that 300M or whatever, like
75M.
75, yeah, whatever it's called. Even that one looks like they kind of made it look like it
Well,
was
I mean,
meant
they
to be.
basically took the pixel art and turned it into 3D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they at least made it 3D. So like it looks like it was supposed to be like they made it into a Smash stage, whereas this they just straight up copy and pasted assets from Minecraft. I'm like, here we go.
It's not even just that for me. I just find the whole aesthetic really boring. Like, say what you will about all the Fire Emblem characters, but at least some of them look kind of neat.
Well,
Mhm.
and they've at least managed to kind of give them this distinct but also homogenized look to everything, so that everyone has their own distinct look, and they still retain the styles of the original game they came from, but they all look like they belong together. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why I was so opposed to Steve being in Minecraft to begin with, is because there's nothing you can fucking do to make him fit. Like, you either completely change him so he looks like he belongs, but then you are removing the distinct elements that make Minecraft look like what it looks like, or you do this and just fucking rip it straight out, but then it doesn't look like it belongs. So there's just no happy medium there.
Mhm.
It's a waste of a slot.
I don't know.
I'm hoping this means that the next one we get is going to be a fucking doozy.
It's gonna be Doom Guy.
I mean, yeah, I'd be fine with that. I still don't really
better than Steve.
I still don't see Doom Guy getting in, honestly, but I'm not saying it's impossible, and I don't have a problem with him getting in.
Well, Doom Guy, because the game he's from is so violent. But I mean, even then, like even Bayonetta that's a freaking violent game too.
And
But, I mean,
sexual.
that's more of like cartoon violence though, compared to Doom, where it's like straight up, gore.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Doom is like pretty comical gore.
yeah, but it's still straight up, blood, demon killing,
Plus, you don't necessarily have to have gore in order to have Doom Guy. Like, all you need is for all you need is for his moves to be like strong and kinetic. Like, that's, as long as you give that impression in the animations, you've got a perfectly workable Smash character.
Guys, you're missing the point. It's not going to be Doom Guy. He will be a Mii costume. The next fighter is going to be Master Chief.
I would prefer Master Chief
You know
over.
what? Yeah, I think I would prefer Master Chief over Doom Guy too, because I don't know, he just seems like he's a bit more of a. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I would personally prefer Doom Guy, but I'm not necessarily going to be rooting for either.
I honestly would like Master Chief. I see as being like the kind of classic Xbox representative, and that's kind of I like having like how Sakura says it's a celebration of gaming, and I like having the representations for different companies there.
Yeah.
And
Sony or Microsoft and Nintendo has been getting kind of cozy lately, with Banjo and Kazooie being a big thing, and even Microsoft technically owns, Minecraft too. So yeah, I can see them being like, oh yeah, why don't we? That would be like this big, like, oh shocker, nobody sees it coming. Just announce Master Chief.
Well,
Yeah,
you bring.
I mean,
me at this point.
I
But
don't know if it would surprise anyone at this point because Master Chief has basically been on discussions since Banjo and Kazooie.
yeah, but they could be like, oh, nobody will see this coming because it's rival. But then like everyone will see it coming. Like, oh yeah, that's cool, I guess.
And you know
So-
what? And you know what though? We have to remember Microsoft owns Doomguy now since they bought
that's right.
ZeniMax.
Yep.
That's true.
Mm.
That's a
So-
podcast in and of itself, though. Like,
You know what I find to be very interesting about Steve getting in is that a lot of people are starting to be like, oh, this leak must have been right, or this leak must have been right, or Vergaben was right all along.
No.
No.
Of course.
No.
That's just similar to how like fortune tellers say stuff, and then like if they spout enough crap, eventually one of them is going to be true.
Yeah.
So it's really you can't really.
So here's why this is fucking bullshit, though. Like, I'm just gonna go specifically for Vergaben's throat because he's the easiest target here and he's the loudest. So he's the perfect choice to go for this argument. So he would always say like, oh yeah, Steve is playing for the base game because my source found assets that are pointing to Minecraft stuff, and then lo and behold, there's not a single Minecraft asset in there, and like. Then he backpedaled and said, oh, my source confused the cubivore pig for a Minecraft pig, and the Ender Dragon thing, they just confused the file name for Rathalos, and blah, blah, blah. So then he backpedaled and said, oh, wait, no, it must have been moved to Fighter Pass 1. Yeah, that's what it was, of course. He's totally coming, guys. He's going to be in Fighter Pass 1. Well, one, that's impossible because Steve just straight up wasn't in the design doc, just not there. If it wasn't in the design doc, there's nothing to shift to DLC. So you're wrong there. Then Fighter Pass 1 comes out, no Steve. He says, oh, well, maybe then they announce Fighter Pass 2. He's like, oh, well, it must have been moved to Fighter Pass 2. No, because Fighter Pass 1 was its own set of negotiations and plans, and then they negotiated and planned for Fighter Pass 2, completely separate. Now, here's an interesting crackpot theory I have. While I do think Vergaben was completely wrong, and he's full of shit, making all of it up when he claims Steve would be in, I almost wonder if he's not still to blame for Steve being in. Because notice how him even mentioning it to begin with sparked a lot of conversation about it. It's a lot of time between when he brought it up and when Fighter Pass 2 was announced. Nintendo could have easily seen all of that conversation going on and all of the shit flinging and like, oh, I want Steve, and oh, I don't fucking want Steve, and just the discussion in general, and thought, oh, well, fuck it, why don't we put Steve in? That's my crackpot theory of the day.
Well, even bad publicity and stuff is still publicity, so they thought, even if people hate it, it would at least get the conversation going, get more people interested in their product and, checking it out. So I could totally see that.
They just want the Zoomer crowd.
I mean, while I wouldn't like it, I wouldn't necessarily blame them for it.
I mean, yeah, they're going to eventually that crowd's going to it's going to be the ones with the money buying all the shit, buying all the DLC.
They do now.
Shit. So
eventually they'll be the boomers and we'll be dead.
If you're not already playing Smash Bros, it doesn't seem like them putting one character in is going to be like, guess I'm going to play this game now. I don't think it works quite like that.
You'd be surprised just how much brand recognition, just how far that can go.
I'm kind of with Andy on that one because, I do see that argument get brought up a lot, and I don't think it goes as far as people give it credit for. I'm sure it is some of the cases, but I don't think it's the vast majority of oh, well, this character's in now. Well, obviously this is now a game for me.
Yeah, maybe on a smaller roster, it would work, but with a game with so many characters, I doubt just throwing in this one more is going to just bring a bunch of new people in.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
not
gonna
going to
get
be the
people-
lead in.
Well, it's like I was saying though, it's going to get people talking about it, and people are going to be who might not have even really noticed it before are going to be like, "Oh, what's this?" And they might see something else about it that they like and be like, "Oh,
Okay, to be
check it out."
fair,
And you can't really deny, though, at the same time, how crazy some kids are for Minecraft, anyways. So there is that.
to Nick's point, I will argue. To be fair, it's a little difficult to own a Switch and not be aware of Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my counterpoint. I get where you're going. But that's my counterpoint.
I mean, I really see both sides, but I'm leaning more towards I don't really think one character makes a difference.
Yeah, I go with Andy. I mean, this late in the game. No, it's just whatever we get is just icing on the cake, and if your character gets in, it's like the cherry on top.
But yeah, fucking all this being said, I hate it. I do hate it. I don't want Steve in there at all.
Well,
But
go ahead.
I'm sticking with what I said before. I can't be that mad because I got what I wanted. Like, I got my number one ask long before this, and anything else on top of that is more or less icing on the cake. So I can't be that mad.
Like, I get that. It just as soon as Steve was announced, I saw so many people like on Twitter just being like, "Why can't you just be happy for people who want Steven? Like, there's so many other characters," and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine, but I'm allowed to be upset. Like, It's not like I'm fucking tearing down buildings and rioting over this. I'm allowed to be a little upset that a character I despise got into the game. Like." And yes, I'm aware it's not going to ruin the game for me. I'm not someone who's just going to be like, well, I'm just completely done with Smash now because a character I don't like got in the game.
Yeah.
But I'm allowed to be annoyed. I'm allowed to be like, no, I don't like this character, and fuck you for wanting him in.
Just know someone
I was saying before, it's like these fighter pass cost $30, and we're basically buying them blind if we buy them ahead of time.
Well,
which is
someone's just gonna argue, well, your fault for buying in blind, which
I'm like, I'm
gonna to a degree I can't argue with.
yeah.
But at the same time, like, we're all gonna buy them anyway because we want to have all of the characters. That way,
Exactly.
So regardless, even if we hate it, we're still gonna get it. Like, they kind of have us at the balls here. So like.
Well, that's like, kind of how
character that just fucking sucks that nobody likes. It kind of destroys that trust a little bit,
That's kind of how fighting games work in general too, with their DLC. Is like if you are entrenched in this fighting game, like it is something you really are passionate about, you're going to be buying all of the characters regardless of whether you like them or not, because you want to learn about what they can do, learn about how to fight them, and sometimes just plain learn, if they're even worth trying to play.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I've been surprised with ones I ended up liking because I can't say I was super pumped for Hero, and now I fucking love Hero.
Yeah, see, I was just thinking like when I was just last night playing as Piranha Plant, like he just seemed like, okay, that's fun. At least he's being released for free or whatever. But like I didn't really take him that seriously. But now he actually is like one of my better characters.
And I mean, I will say this: as much as I fucking hate Steve being in there, Lord knows I might end up playing him fairly frequently because, like, look at Byleth. I still hate that Byleth is in there because I don't like Three Houses very much, and I don't think Byleth is a very interesting character, and it's more Fire Emblem shit. But yeah, Byleth is super fun to play.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Byleth is it was just annoying because that was the last one for the last fighter pack. So it's just like, really, this is what we were building up to?
Icing on the shit cake.
And that's also what I wanted to say about like this. I mean, I know this happens with every character, but what I hate is when you get just a shit character, it's like, well, fuck, now I have to wait months and months until we get another character. And now after Steve, I'm just like, I'm a little afraid that I'm just going to be disappointed again.
Yeah. At least this wasn't the straight up last one.
Though, Yeah,
I mean, we still have 4 more.
no matter
Yeah.
what, you can only go up from here. So in a way, it's that's kind of like looking at it from a different angle, I guess. Like no matter what they put in next, I guess I'll be fucking happy.
The thing is, I seriously cannot think of anybody who I would want even less than Steve. Like, even if they pulled off some really batshit crazy thing.
That's a way to look at it. The bar's already been set as low as it possibly can go. You can't get worse.
I'm seriously trying to think, like, who could they possibly put in that would be worse?
It would have to be.
It really isn't.
It would have to be a non-video game character for it to be worse than Steve.
Even then, like, I think that would still be better because at least that would be kind of interesting.
Well,
or could be.
Could get a Fortnite character.
Okay, actually, that's something I wanted to talk about, like, because that actually seems like it could happen. Because,
Yeah, that possibility is now
extremely popular. So,
frighteningly realistic.
Okay, like, but now the question is, would that be even worse than Steve, or would it just be as bad?
Yes.
Yes.
It would be worse than Steve.
I say it's on par with Steve.
Here's a question, though. A legal question. Can a Fortnite character happen? Because you remember all of the, like, shit shows that were going on over all the dances Fortnite jacked? And of course, they have to include those as, like, taunts if they're going to put it in.
That's why I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Epic just seems like they're kind of douchebags about how they handle Fortnite in general. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would demand like a lot more loyalties, and they'd be like, "Oh, but we're Fortnite, the most popular game on Earth," so like they'd have to basically bow to them. So that would be a legitimate argument against Fortnite characters being in. But then again, like Fortnite is so popular that like perhaps Nintendo wouldn't even be able to resist the urge to, give in to that just to include them in their game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it just me, or like maybe I've just successfully managed to bury my head in the sand deep enough? But like, is it just me, or has Fortnite kind of fallen off a little? Like,
no, it has.
Like, there's still a ton of people playing it, but you don't hear much about it anymore.
No, even Penny Arcade made a joke about how it's really dropped off. Like, it definitely is less popular, but it's popular enough.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's kind of dropping off in popularity, though, may also be a case against it, because it's kind of proving to be a fad. And do you really want a fad? Like, Minecraft...
I was going to say, arguably, you could say the same about Minecraft, because it's kind of past its prime, too.
Love it or hate it, though, Minecraft has still been on the upswing.
And it's also been around longer. I feel like Fortnite's still a little too new to
that's
really...
one thing. Minecraft has at least managed to stay consistently popular over a long period of time, whereas Fortnite, like, exploded, and then now is starting to be on the downswing.
Well, it's also because Fortnite was on the forefront of the Battle Royale shit, too, because it was, like, the second one I had ever heard of in that style.
It was the one that definitely helped popularize it anyway.
Well, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds did, and then Epic basically stole that guy's code and then turned Fortnite from what it originally was, which was like that third-person tower defense kind of thing, into a battle royale.
And now it's like every shooter has to have a battle royale mode. And like, it does just seem like it's a fad that people are slowly but surely getting sick of.
I never really liked it to begin with.
I never even played Fortnite or any of those before, so...
I see the appeal of battle royales, but not something I feel like getting into, and Fortnite especially, I have no desire to touch, because it just looks like a spastic mess. And like the building mechanic, oh my god, I fucking hate the building mechanic in it so much, because it's, the original intent was to use it to build bases and stuff, but if you watch people playing Fortnite, they're just like randomly throwing out just these like big ass planks and shit, and they're using it as tactical defense, but it's like, oh, someone's shooting at me, I better just like swing up these random planks and steel walls and shit just to hide behind, but no one's using it to its actual original intent of like building something. You're not building things. You're just throwing up ad hoc defense, or, you know, building random ass towers to the sky of these jank looking platforms so you can get a snipe on somebody. And it just watching someone do this, like, I don't get motion sickness when playing games very much, but watching how fucking jank all of this looks and how much the camera's flying around makes me a little sick.
Listen, guys. Listen. I want you to go to the podcast channel, and I want you to see. I put on a video.
No.
I put a video there,
No.
and
So
I believe.
You know what?
believe-
I'm not watching that.
I saw the thumbnail. I'm done.
No, you gotta watch, Dave.
No.
Watch it.
I'm
Like,
done
at
with
least
you.
now, like, we buried those freaking Alex Mercer pictures, but that's not really helping the cause at all.
I'm
If
done
you
with
don't
you,
watch it,
Rob.
if you don't watch it, I'm having Danny play it. So
Please, God, no.
Ugh.
drink it in, Dave.
Yep, that's enough of that. Fucking, you know what, make the viewers suffer for that. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's why I got the green screen version. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
God.
I got to work on my chroma keying, so why not?
So, how
Half a big chungus.
about those me costumes, boys? How do we feel about those?
I mean, I don't really.
Actually, I don't actually haven't watched those yet, so I don't even know what they are.
So I'll give you a rundown. It is a creeper, a pig.
Whatever.
It's a, you know, generic looking. It's your me, but in diamond armor, which
Whatever.
looks fucking weird as shit. The main character of Tower of Duraga, I think his
Don't
name is
care.
like Gil or something.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a real fucking old RPG, like one of the granddaddies of RPGs, as I understand it. I don't know a
Oh,
ton
you know-
about it.
I feel like I might have heard of it at least.
There was an anime for it a decade or so ago that was pretty alright, but like, yeah, it's just kind of one of those real old school RPGs. I don't really care, but I don't have anything against it.
Mhm.
Bomberman, so just it turns your me into straight up Bomberman, like the assist trophy model. The colors match your me colors, so you know there's black, blue, white, pink, purple, etc., etc., etc. Kind of a consolation prize to everybody who was crying about Bomberman not getting a character slot and getting shafted to assist trophy. So it is what it is. And then Travis touchdown.
Fuck you.
You know, I said it before and I'll say it again. As much as I like Travis, I just don't know if I'd be happy with him being a Smash character, because you would have to take away so much of his personality, because like his personality is the bombastic, immature, cussing all the fucking time and just being a rude dickhead. Like, you don't even need the violence, but you can't remove the language.
What I said, like, he would be so neutered if they ever put him in that he just wouldn't. It would ruin him.
Like that kind of makes him. It's one of the things that makes his personality what it is. So, I mean, I can't be too mad about it. But
I'm a little upset.
So I have a genuine question. One thing I did notice in the trailer, and I don't remember if they did this before or not, but like with the Tower of Duraga character, Bomberman, and Travis, they played music from those respective series while they were showing the Mii costume. Did they do that before in any of the other Mii costume reveals?
Yeah.
Because like I don't fucking remember them doing it for like Goemon as an example.
I can't remember.
I don't think they did it for every reveal, but yeah, I remember some of them had the actual music from the source material.
Well, like the reason I ask is just because, I mean, they didn't call special attention to it, but it did make me wonder if maybe these are going to come with music.
Well, I know, like, with Sans, when it came with Megalovania, like, it actually advertised the fact that it came with the music. So I would think they would do the same with the other ones if they did, but, like, I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked, because I genuinely can't remember, and, you know, lazy on my part, but I couldn't be arsed to go look up all of the Mii costume reveals to see if they were doing it.
Right.
But, if that is the case, I would buy Travis at least just to get the one No More Heroes track in. That'd be neat. But man, I just have no fucking idea where the hell they could be going from here with DLC characters.
Yeah, it always seems like when a new one comes out, you just kind of like suddenly go like, well, fuck, now I really don't know what's going to happen.
I think I'm still going to stick to my theory that Gino's going to get in, not because I care, but it just seems like it could finally happen.
I'm still fine with Gino, but my preference would still be Mallow if we were going to get a Mario RPG character.
Yeah, I'm thinking at this point, Gino has gotten all the hype, and if like Steve is any indication, hype is kind of more important. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing like a Mother 3 character, like Duster
or never Mother 3.
I just want like another Mother character. It would be nice to get some villain representation in there, even if it was just like the Masked Man or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Porky's still kind of on the table, even though discussion of him is kind of...
I don't know how he would
fallen.
Hell, I think Eve would be cool, like just from Mother 1. Just so Mother 1 gets a bit of representation, but like that seems unlikely though.
Yeah.
I also think Crash is still pretty likely.
I'm still thinking that Crash is going to be one of these slots.
Yeah, that seems almost like a given with Crash 4 coming out and stuff.
But I'm still saying I don't think it's going to happen, but fucking Earthworm Jim, man.
I would love that. That would be great.
That'd be great.
I'm not even like a huge Earthworm Jim fan at this point, but if he got in...
I think he'd fit really well, though.
Yeah, like, I'd be pretty fucking pumped if he showed up, just because, like, he's a classic, so I feel like it would work that way, and a lot of the stuff could easily be used for Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got, like, a tether grab and a tether recovery type thing, and he's got like, a... in Earthworm Jim 2, he had several different kinds of guns you can get, and, that could just be his different specials.
Yeah. I don't know what a stage would be, though.
It would probably be the New Junk City or whatever it's called.
Probably.
Either that or maybe What the Heck, because that's kind of an iconic one, too.
Yeah, or maybe For Pete's Sake. I feel like that could work, too.
Man, I just feel so disappointed because, like, the three characters that in my mind are the most likely are all characters I don't give a shit about. Like,
yeah, that's always
Gino, Crash, and a Tails character.
A Tails character?
Unless it was Kless. If it was Kless, I would think that would be pretty cool. But I still think a Namco rep is coming, and Tails seems like a pretty likely option. Or it could just be Heihachi. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. Honestly, if it was going to be a Tails character, it would probably be Lloyd or something, because Tales of Symphonia is one of the more popular ones.
I mean, that's what I've been saying.
And Tales of Symphonia has like the most ties like to Nintendo as well. So
that's what I've been saying. And like back when the Lloyd Mii costume was created, one of the reasons Lloyd was picked for the Mii costume was because it was the easiest one to negotiate the rights for. Because like all the other Tales games, like they're apparently a legal mess as far as ownership goes. So Lloyd was just the easiest to get.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I think Nintendo actually did have a hand in like publishing that game in America, or at least outside of Japan, which I think is why we didn't get the PS2 version of it
until way fucking later.
Yeah, I mean the HD ports aside, but
until way fucking later and on like a dozen different consoles. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I just still have no fucking clue. I mean, my pie in the sky pipe dreams still haven't changed. Still want Pocky and Rocky. Still want Wondermon, even though that one's shot to shit.
I still want Wonder Red. He's my pipe dream.
Yeah, like really though, the only ones that would get me excited is just another character from Earthbound or just the Mother series in general. That's like the only thing that I would probably go crazy for.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think either like Duster or for Mother 3, or if they want to get just anyone from Mother 1, which would most likely be something like Eve, because any of the main characters from that game wouldn't really be that much different from, Ness or Lucas. So
yeah, But I mean, I've been saying Duster for a long time because he has a lot of stuff that would work that I think would be cool. There's the one that I still don't understand. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but Bandana Waddle Dee, I still just don't get why people are so fucking nuts for.
Who is
I
that?
don't know, man.
Bandana Waddle Dee.
Oh, Waddle Dee. Okay, I didn't hear that part.
I don't
Like,
fucking know, man.
I have no problem with him, but like, people have latched on to this character, and I don't get it.
I mean, if you were gonna pick a Kirby rep, I'd fucking prefer like, what was her name? The artist girl. Was it like Adelaide or something?
I was saying the same thing, but
Yeah, I don't know her name, but I know what you're talking about.
I still don't know enough about her that I could be like, yeah, that'd be a good character.
Wasn't she in like Kirby 64 or something?
She was in a lot of Kirby games.
Oh.
Like, she's been in since Kirby's Adventure, I believe.
Mm.
So,
They're kind of tapped for Kirby reps that I would really care about.
like, that's kind of the thing with the Kirby franchise is there are very, Kirby and Metroid. If we're gonna bring this argument up, is like there's just not that many long-lasting characters to use, and like Waddle Dee, not even just Bandana Waddle Dee, but like Waddle Dee as a whole is kind of one of them. And then I think her name's Adelaide, but yeah, the painter girl, like she's the only other significant character who's not just a random ass enemy. She's the only other one that's been there with any relative frequency. And Metroid's kind of the same scenario. Like, you've got Samus and Ridley, and then who the fuck else is even worth it? All the rest of them are like one-offs.
Yeah, Metroid's definitely tapped for characters at this point for Smash, especially with Ridley getting in being one of those never-ever characters.
Also, characters kind of defeats the purpose of Metroid. Like, that was never its strength. Its strength was in the isolation, and characters kind of ruined the isolation and the adventure aspect.
The thing is, like,
which is why fucking Hunters was so stupid. Other M's sucked balls, and Prime 3 was the weakest of the Prime games aside from Controls.
Well, like, the only characters that you could speak of in Metroid are all villains too, and at this point, they're all ones that could not fit into Smash, like Kraid.
Well, like I said, there's the Hunters, but I don't fucking like any of them.
Oh yeah, they were in one game, or were they? Wait, they were Hunters. Were the same ones? The ones in
two of the Hunters appeared in Metroid Prime 3.
Okay, I never played Hunters, so I don't really know the ones from that.
I played the demo of it.
It sucked.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, what was the name of that? Like Federation Force or whatever? Like nobody played that. Like nobody played that. Like to the point where it's almost comic. Like people almost usually forget it even exists.
But yeah, the point is, people desperately want more Kirby representation, and they desperately want more Metroid representation as far as fighters are concerned. And I'm just not seeing any value. Like,
right. I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we pretty much
has all it needs.
Could get. So it's like you'd be better off getting something else more representation.
You know what?
That actually has characters that would fit.
You know what needs more representation? F-Zero.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We need what's the big villain guy?
Black Shadow.
I'm sorry, what game?
F-Zero.
I've never heard of it.
Oh shit, you're right. I just made it up.
Oh fuck.
I can't believe you guys fell for that.
Is it
God, Andy, fucking gaslighting us over here.
Is that a battle royale game?
Yeah, you have 99 other like racers on a track, and you need to kill all of them.
I mean, that kind of is F-Zero.
It's not a 100% inaccurate description. So,
like,
was the actual number 32 or something like that? Like there was actually a lot of racers, which
that's the thing about
Jesus.
Is there's like every racer is a character. Like they all have backstories and shit, so they're all interesting. But
yeah,
what
they need to release another F-Zero game to expand on some of that stuff, and then maybe have a Smash fighter to tie into it. Like that would be great.
But Miyamoto won't do another F-Zero unless he can put some stupid gimmick on it.
No, that wasn't. I don't think that was Miyamoto. I think that was like the F-Zero director or something like that. But either way, the argument is just as stupid no matter who said it.
Right.
Still,
Honestly, all it has to be is just F-Zero GX HD with online play.
Online play with more than 4 players.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, the multiplayer in that could only do 4 players.
But I mean, if they just handled it like if you can actually have a lobby with like shitload of people in it and stuff.
Yeah, do that. That's all I fucking want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even need a brand new ground up game. Just fucking give me that and I'll be happy.
Yeah. I think that's kind of their argument for why they're not making a new one, because it's like, oh, we already basically perfected it with GX.
But you don't always
do. And
you
I'm
don't
just like,
fucking always need to innovate. Online. I'm good functional online. There's your innovation right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's your one improvement you needed to check off your list. Fucking get at it. Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what series I'm surprised I'm not hearing people clamoring for more characters for is Star Fox. Like,
I think that train is
Star Fox
sailed.
hasn't had a good game in a while. So
I know, but still, like, there's a lot of diehard Star Fox fans. I'm just kind of surprised I haven't heard anyone really going like, "Man, we need like Peppy or something."
I mean, there used to be like back in the Brawl days, but I think that train has sailed. And I mean, really, I think one of the things that kind of turned people off of that idea is just the fact that all of the Star Fox characters, I mean, they've tweaked them since to feel a bit more unique, but they still boil down to the same overall archetype. Like their moves are still all derived from the same moveset, and it's even if they feel different, it's obvious. So like for a lot of the Star Fox cast, what else are you gonna do? And I mean, as much as people are shitting on the idea of Crystal, to her credit, she's really the only one that could have something completely unique. Because
if they give it the staff to use, well, like still though, like it doesn't matter how logical it is. Like usually there's still people clamoring for just characters from a series. I mean, like we said with Kirby, there's a lot of characters that don't really fucking work, but people just want them anyways.
I think more people will be clamoring for more Sonic characters too.
I want fucking classic Robotnik, but because it's modern Sonic, if we were going to get it, it would be modern Eggman, which I would still be okay with because I do like modern Eggman. I just would have preferred classic Robotnik.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'd be totally cool with either of those options.
I'd be fine
with Tails though.
With Tails, I'd be fine with Tails. Like really, like I keep saying, I like throwing in more villains. So yeah, I would love like classic Robotnik, and he could just kind of like they could make him kind of like Bowser Jr., where he's got like a little thing to ride around in, but make him more floaty.
Mm-hmm.
Fat floaty.
Yeah. And then they could put in Wily, and he'll just be an Echo Fighter of Robotnik.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So now that Fighter Pass 1 has been out, and we've had plenty of time with it, but we go through all the characters, and each of us give them a rating 1 to 10, and maybe a little small blurb of why. So start with Joker. Who wants to go first?
10 out of 10.
Well, actually, should we cover Piranha Plant in this? Since even though he's not a part of the Fighter Pass, he's still technically DLC.
I'd like you guys.
Piranha Plant anyway. I would give Piranha Plant. I'd give him a solid 8 because I actually do play him regularly, which is more than what I could say about most of the other DLC characters.
I'd go for like a 7.5 if we can do that. Just like because I like him, but I don't think I play him as much as you do.
But I mean, for a character that was thrown in there, I mean, it was free. Like in the beginning, I think you have to pay for him now. But
no, like I definitely like him.
I thought he was great, just to kind of whet people's appetite for DLC characters. I thought it was pretty good.
I think I would agree with Andy on a 7. He's very fun to use. I do add him into my regular rotation. He feels at the same time weak sauce as far as like a character in and of themselves, but also interesting because he's just a generic ass Piranha Plant.
Yeah.
So the two kind of balance out in a weird way. So I think a 7 is what I would go with as well. Let's say you, Roger.
Roger.
Young Piranha Plant, huh? Yeah, 7.
Okay, same reasons as them.
Yeah, it's just fun to play. Nothing really
I mean,
stand out.
he wasn't really like a hyped character either, and I think that kind of speaks to he's just kind of a minion.
Yeah, like it's funny because he's both exciting and a letdown at the same time.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've never thought about it, but that's so fucking true about him.
So then, on Joker.
Yeah, now we can go on. Sorry for derailing it, but I just kind of thought it was only fair to talk about Piranha Plant. But yeah, about Joker.
It's definitely fair.
9 out of 10. Why? Because he plays to more my fighting style, which is I just tend to be hyper aggressive.
I don't know if I'd go with a 10, but he's 8 or 9. It's hard to say for sure. For being the first of the fighter pass, he was definitely a very interesting and fun one to get. I don't really play him as much, so I probably would lean more towards an 8.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, like either 8 or 9. So I'm just going to kind of say 8.5 since, I mean, we're not like we have solid rules here or anything.
Son of a bitch. 1.5.
Anyway, well, my point is, for me, it's like, for being the first DLC character in the fighter pass, like nobody really saw it coming at the time. It's like, wow, they're not only is he this third party, but he's a freaking Persona, which is a game that, people really love, but don't really, attribute it to Nintendo or Smash Bros. Much. So that was like kind of a big thing. It was like when Solid Snake was revealed in the Brawl days. Like, it kind of reminded me of that.
It really was.
The reason why I don't give him perfect 10 out of 10 is because, like, I don't really play him that much. Because, like, I mean, yeah, he fits Roger's style a lot better than he does mine. Because, like, for me, it's more about kind of bigger, stronger finishing moves and stuff, which Joker doesn't have quite as much of. So, I mean, he's still fun to play. I think they did a good job with him. But, yeah, for me personally, I'd probably call him about an 8.5.
It would go to about an 8. Definitely a complete fucking shocker as far as the reveal goes.
Mm-hmm.
He loses a couple points for me because, one, his playstyle doesn't jive with me super well. Like, he's kind of, I mean, he's a lot fucking better than Sheik, but he's one of those technical characters, and
Right.
those just don't always mesh with me very well. So, like, it's just real hard for me to get into playing as him. His gimmick it's nice, but it's not like a huge fucking game changer, like just this insane weird ass bullshit that, we'll get into that as the DLC characters go on. But, he's got his own little unique quirk. He's well built, very fucking surprising, but he loses a couple more, like another point for me, because he kind of is in the same boat as Bayonetta with me in that, like, I can't hate him for being in there, but he almost just doesn't fit, if that makes sense.
I'm kind of like characters that don't fit. I do kind of like when they're interesting.
Yeah, and like
jarring is
except for when they go to like the extreme, like they did with Steve. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I'll also say I do find his moveset to be a little lacking in the interest department, because I just wish they had worked in the Persona gimmick a little bit more. Like, Arsene could be his main, basically limit break style gimmick to him, but it would have been nice to see some of his other moves incorporating like other Persona abilities instead of just like all of the dark moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like there could be like Bufu and Zio or whatever those moves, like the magic moves of that series.
Yeah, and like
have,
Jack Frost and stuff like that make.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see a bit more of that, because he doesn't feel like he's completely capturing the breadth of Persona. So actually, that being said, I'm going to knock him down to a 7.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Fucking brutal.
It all comes out here.
I'm trying to remember who came next.
How the fight start.
Hero. Okay. Well, who wants to
give Hero a 10 out of 10? Like, Hero, as much as I don't really give a shit about Dragon Quest, I can at least see how much influence it has over the RPG genre and what an important series it is. So, to me, his inclusion is just a no fucking brainer. Like, he belongs in Smash. and his moveset, mwah, so fucking good. So fucking stupid, but so fucking good.
So fun.
Oh god, I love that
He's one of
character.
those characters where you don't want to take him completely, like you're playing as him, you don't want to be completely serious, just top deck kamikaze. Like anytime there's a hero in a fight, like it's just always fun, whether you're fighting against him or as him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and, like he's not like top tier competitive, but he's got his competitive values to him, but at the same time he's got his just easily accessible dumb shit of just
Right.
fucking fair and balanced random crits. Here we go, kamikaze. Hocus pocus. His gimmick is just a lot of fun to use. Character overall is a lot of fun to use. I really fucking like him. He's basically fucking perfect for what you could have asked for, and he belongs there. So much as I don't give a shit about Dragon Quest, he is a 10 out of 10 for me. He was so good.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be hard pressed to put a number on it, but yeah, I'd probably put it up there like 9 or 10. So like the reason why I can't say he's 100% perfect is because it's like you say, like some of his moves just are kind of ridiculous. Like it'd be hard to take him completely seriously in like a, hardcore competitive sense. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd go with a 9 as well because he's so much fun and pretty good too. And like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of Dragon Quest either, but still I like the design and everything. He looks great. He plays fun. It's pretty simple.
yeah, it's like David said, like it seemed like he belongs there. Like, they put Cloud in there.
Looking back, I'm surprised that Cloud got in before him.
Well, I'm thinking because Final Fantasy is bigger, like worldwide, than Dragon Quest is, so that's probably why they chose Cloud first. But like, yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer that with Ultimate they would go with Dragon Quest. I think a better question is why they chose, Joker before Hero. But then again,
because you don't want to.
Joker's kind of more of a current thing, and more of a head turner than I think Hero would have been if they announced him first. So that's kind of why I think Joker came first.
Roger, did you give a number?
No, I would 10 out of 10. Fair and balanced. Would kamikaze again.
Fair and balanced. Tony's hate him.
He's the
Inside
Tony.
jokes.
And I love Thwack because it tends to just work out for me in the end.
Fuck you from last night. Fuck you so hard.
Well, I still just thought, Hocus Pocus, don't fail me now. You just shrank immediately.
On to Banjo.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Out of
I
10.
still think he's one of the simplest of all the DLC fighter pack guys, but just something like I already like Banjo, but just something with him just clicked with my play style.
Yeah, for me, it's like not all DLC characters need to be like this highly technical, unique thing. Sometimes you do just need one that's just kind of a back to basics and represents the source material well, and is just really accessible. And I think
Banjo-Kazooie itself.
Banjo-Kazooie just kind of fits that glove perfectly.
Yeah.
So, just like Hero, he fucking belongs. He looks so at home there.
Right.
And as you mentioned, you don't always need these big complicated gimmicks. His gimmick is just the invincible Wonder Wing, and I mean, I guess you could argue the grenade too.
Like
all of his gimmicks are distinct but nice and simple, easy to wrap your head around. Like Hero's gimmick is fucking way more complicated and hard to grasp than Banjo's gimmicks are. And like I've mentioned before, sometimes you just don't need super complicated. Sometimes you just like simple unga bunga. Like obviously just going straight aggro is not always going to work for you, but you know what I mean. Like Yoshi, you can be technical with Yoshi, but still at his core, he's a very simple, straightforward, he just beats things kind of character. Banjo's the same way, and that playstyle jives with me hell of a lot more than something like Joker with just the technical combos and stuff like that. And call me small brain if you want, but that's how I play. That's what I like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. Like sometimes you just need like a good back to basics character that anyone can pick up and figure out. And yeah, Banjo just fits that perfectly. So yeah, I'd give him a 10 out of 10 too.
I really see no one complaining about him either.
Well, yeah, when he was announced, like nobody had any reason to, except for that one idiot that wanted Banjo and Kazooie to be two separate characters.
We're not getting into that.
But yeah, we're not going to get into that.
Even just like playstyle, like no one seems to be like, oh god, that move is so cheap. Like everyone just kind of accepts all of Banjo's moves.
Yeah, well, I mean, except for maybe like the Wonder Wing, but even then, like they still, managed to
balance his shit.
Yeah,
Like
they managed to, kind of put a leash on it, sort of, so to speak. So
there's plenty of ways around it. It's got a pretty fucking long startup. It's easy to dodge, which is why it's important to put that you set it up first with like either the down
and then
throw,
it kind of leaves you wide open once you're done with it too. So
You just unga bunga and just throw it out randomly.
or that. Like we do online every Saturday night. But that's four for alls. You can get away with that. Yeah.
You'll catch someone off guard.
You either really get away with it or you absolutely don't get away with shit. that's how four for alls go. Roger, number.
Dave number was 10.
Oh, okay. Didn't hear you.
We all said 10 for him, huh? Him and her.
Really not surprised with this group that we all think that Banjo is a 10 out of 10.
Banjo and Kazooie, the Getting Comfy official gold star. Perfect DLC.
Yeah, well, there's no nitpicks about him. He's just perfect. So I don't remember who came next. Was it Byleth?
It was Terry.
Oh.
Terry. Oh God, yeah.
How could you forget Terry?
Yeah.
I think that kind of sums up what I feel about Terry is. How could you forget Terry?
I know.
I don't know. I give him a 7. I think he's fun to play. I mean, he has this kind of place in Smash, but when it comes to online and doing combos, forget about it. So, now that I say that, I'm gonna downgrade to actually a 5 because of that. The online aspect for it just really kills Terry for me. I mean, you can do the perfect combo, but Master Hero Soccer guy will push the buttons in. No, not today.
Yeah, I would probably give him like a 7 because I don't really know anything about King of Fighters. I mean, I understand those Neo Geo games mean a lot to a lot of people, and it is cool to see them get some representation. Like, I'll give him that. But for me personally, it's like he doesn't mean much. But he is, still a lot of fun and stuff. But he's almost a bit too technical for my taste. Like, I'm not really good at, the traditional fighting inputs that you can do with him and all that stuff, and having to remember all those. And you can only do certain moves when he's at a certain percentage of damage. But yeah, he's fun. I'm glad he's in the game at least. But for me personally, I'd probably just give him a 7.
7's about where I would sit as well. I think he has a very interesting moveset. The fighting game character movesets don't fucking work with me at all, especially because of online. Because online is the only fucking option we have to play this shit right now anyway. I have no incentive to really try to practice with him. Nor do I really want to. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't drive with me, but I do think he has a well-created moveset. He looks cool. He's got that nice classic vibe going for him because, I mean, he is a classic character. Like, he'd been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that Smash needed him, but there's nothing wrong with him being there.
He's hard.
I like him. Doesn't rock my socks, but nothing too major against him. So, about a 7. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
It is really fucking fun to watch people who know how to play him, though.
Yeah.
He can do some nasty shit. That's a lot of fun to watch. But I can't do that nasty shit.
So, Andy, did you give him a number?
I've been waiting to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'd go with a 7 for him. Like, when he got announced, like, I was just like, oh, neat, Terry. Like, I never played those games, but I'm familiar with the character, and I do like the way he looks. I much prefer him over Ryu and Ken, like, vastly. I honestly, like, when I play him, I don't do the inputs for any of his moves except for the ones that you have to. And yeah, like, he's fun. I don't really bust him out as often as the other characters, but I've had those fights where, like, I see the Matrix and just everything comes together and I just, like, do really good. But then there's, like, games where I'll just get annihilated with him. So, I don't know. I think he's pretty cool. 7. He's right there.
All right, on to Byleth.
Byleth.
Oh boy.
Well, we can get the obvious out of the way. Like, way too many Fire Emblem characters, which
I'll
is something that I've
maintain-
been saying even before Byleth was announced. So
I'll maintain that, my problem is not the number of Fire Emblem characters, it's just the variety, and to a degree, Byleth offers that. So,
yeah,
like,
I can't argue with that.
the most unique Fire Emblem characters we have are Robin, much as I can't fucking stand him, Corrin, and Byleth. Those are the most unique ones. I hate Corrin. I wish Corrin would just go the fuck away. But Byleth and Corrin and Robin still kind of lose some points for me because, while they have variety to them, they are still sword users. I feel like Byleth just using like all 4 of the main weapon types at once is a bit of a cop-out because the sword is still in there. You're not hiding from me, soccer guy. That sword's still there, and that does take some points away. Like, I wish Robin, for instance, was primarily magic, and I wish Corrin went the fuck away, and I wish Byleth was somebody else. That being said, Byleth is very fun to play. Very, very fun to play.
Yeah, as far as that's concerned, she's still a solid, just smash character with a good moveset. Like, nobody really, kind of like Banjo, nobody complains about any of her stuff, like his or her stuff. So
she adds variety to the Fire Emblem characters that was still desperately needed. Not quite as much variety as I wanted, but I mean, from a gameplay perspective, still a lot. So I can't bitch too much about that. I don't like Byleth's design. I don't really like most of the Three Houses designs. Like, there's a couple characters I like in it, but overall, I would have rather had other characters. But for a Fire Emblem rep, well handled. Nothing I can just really hate too much. So I'd give it a solid 7.
yeah, for me, I think I would have been more pissed about Byleth if she was the actual last DLC character. But at least they announced, the second fighter pass. Was it at the same time as Byleth, or was it shortly afterwards? I don't remember.
I believe it was the same time.
Yeah. So okay, all right. At least it's not going to be the last one, so we have others to look forward to. But I mean, she's okay. I don't really have a problem with her. From a gameplay standpoint, she does add some variety to the Fire Emblem characters, but still, there's so many Fire Emblem reps already. But you could also argue, we were talking about other series that needs more representation, things like Metroid and Kirby. What else could they throw in? Whereas Fire Emblem is like a treasure trove for different kinds of characters. But as David says, there's not a lot of them are still pretty generic sword users or whatever.
Yeah.
So
my complaint with Fire Emblem isn't the number; it's the variety. If they had made every single one of them unique, completely unique, I don't think most people would be complaining as much. And I
get the feeling if they did do that, there probably wouldn't be as many either. So yeah, I would probably give her. I don't even really play as her much. Maybe I probably should though, because I mean, she seems like someone who does fit my play style pretty well. It's just that a lot of the times it's just we're playing online, and I'm just okay, I don't feel like trying to figure out this character I'm not that familiar with yet. So I just never really bothered to bust her out. So I'd have to mess around with her offline a bit by myself. But
if we weren't taking gameplay into account,
what's that?
I said if we weren't taking gameplay into account, she would have been a 4 from me.
Mm-hmm.
But that gameplay is strong with that one.
Yeah, I'd give her a solid 7 though.
I'd give her a 5.
Just a 5?
Just kind of middle of the road, character I wasn't excited about. The only reason Byleth even gets to a 5 is because she's fun to play as. He, she, whatever. I tend to play as the girl Byleth anyways.
Harsher critic than me.
Like, it mostly comes from my disappointment of, like I said, that being like the last one of the first fighter pack, and just a character I overall do not give any shits about, but she's got some fun stuff to work with, and I'll acknowledge that.
It's fair.
I'll give her 8 out of 10. Unga bunga, me shoot arrow, me good.
There's the Roger technique of stand on the edge of a free for all and just take pot shots at everyone who's not paying attention.
Everybody notices last second and is, oh fuck, panic to get off the ground.
Yeah,
I love that.
Everyone notices like, oh shit, Roger has like no damage, and we all just make a beeline for him.
No, that's the worst part, is that everybody's like, oh shit, Roger still has 3 stocks and like next to no damage, and he's taking fucking pot shots at us with a fully charged arrow from the other side of the screen. Well, guess we avoided it. Now let's go back to ignoring him. Fucking assholes.
I thought it was funny.
Good shit. Oh. Yeah, whenever we get a new character, we'll talk some more about whatever the fuck that is, and once the Fighter Pass 2 is all out, we'll give them all rankings again. See how that one goes. Any other topics, boys? We done with Steve. We done with
Steve actually, but
we done with Smish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably wrap this up pretty soon, unless you guys want to continue without me for a while.
No, that's fine.
It's a good.
I need to eat something. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I got to work tomorrow, so I got to go to bed.
Well, this episode's question, I'll throw it out there. Name a game and that part that every time you think of playing that game again, you remember that part. You reconsider.
Resident Evil 4, the fucking slider puzzle when you play as Ashley, because I suck so at those.
Okay, it's funny you bring it up because like the last time I played through Resident Evil 4, I forgot about that, and I'm just like, man, why don't I replay this game more? And I got to that part and went, oh no, I blocked this from my memory.
Have to look up the solution every time because I can't be asked to just sit there and try and brute force my way through it.
I just hate those kind of puzzles. They're just, I hate them.
Oh man, I don't know if I would add it or if I would make this my answer because of it. But fucking Onimusha had that bit with the slider puzzle where like you go through like, you know what, fuck it. Same fucking reason. I will throw it on there. Onimusha, first game. The part where you're traveling with Kaede, I think that was her name, and you end up in the trap room, because honestly, the trap rooms, aside from the sliding puzzle, they're not difficult, but they're just tedious, because the first trap room is just these fucking levers, and it's like one lever in each little section of it. You know, you walk past, you pull a lever, a wall falls down to block you and Kaede, and then you switch to Kaede, and then she has to go do a thing, hit the net or pull the next lever, and like it's fucking brain dead. It's not fun. It just eats time. And then the next room is the stupid floor puzzle where there's, I believe it's crosses or like X's and plus signs on the floor, and it's a tiled room, and when you step on a tile with an X on it, the floor falls out from that tile, like from around that tile in an X pattern. And then you switch to the other character and you have to go find, a clear path through, and you have to step on another tile, and the floor falls out around that tile, and the goal is to get to the end of the room without accidentally stepping on a tile that drops the other character in the spikes. It's not fucking difficult, it's just tedious. And then after that, you get the fucking part where Samanosuke is stuck in the room with it's filling with water, and you have to do a timed sliding puzzle before he drowns. And it's fucking stupid. And if you can't beat the sliding puzzle, you have to go through the other 2 puzzles all over again. Fuck that. They're not difficult, they're just tedious. And then sliding puzzles suck, because I suck at them. So, fuck it. Thank you, Roger. You gave me my answer, too.
You're welcome.
God. I was
I-
just playing that game not that long ago, too. The same fucking reaction. Anyway.
I have a. I don't know if you're done, David, but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
I have-
done. I'm done and
Like-
I'm angry now, but I'm done.
there's stuff like that. But for some reason, I don't know why. Like it actually seems really petty because this part isn't really all that bad. But for some reason, that type of thing I always associate with Metal Gear Solid 2. And there's the part where you have to go and like freeze those bombs. Like it's not that bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going around and you're just freezing these bombs. It almost just kind of feels like padding. Just like you have to get through that just to continue on. Like it, not that bad. It's not like sliding puzzles level of annoying or anything. But I don't know. For some reason, like whenever I think of Metal Gear Solid 2, I always think I should play that again. But then I often get to like that part and I just like, oh, this seems like a good place to stop for now. And then I just never go back and I never end up finishing it.
I'm trying to
It
remember.
seems petty, but like that's honestly the first thing that came to mind when you brought up that question. So
I'm trying to remember the way the bomb thing worked, because
you get like this freezing spray.
I know that. I'm just talking about as far as the bomb positioning goes, because I'm trying to remember if it was like there's a set number of patterns and you can get one pattern or the other, or if it was reliant on difficulty and then they're in the exact same place each time on that difficulty. Trying to remember if that's how it worked.
I can't remember.
I only ever played through it once, so I have no idea.
I haven't played it in a while. Because like I said, I always get to that part and I'm like, oh, I mean, it's not like it's horrible or really, it's not as bad as like the Onimusha thing you just described or the Resident Evil 4 thing. But I'm just like, it's usually just like, oh, I don't really feel like doing this right now, so I'll just put it down and I'll play it later. And then like I just never do, and I never finish it. So yeah, I've only ever really finished that game once.
I mean, until Roger spoke up, my answer was going to be Thousand Year Door in Twilight Town.
Oh,
that was going to be my answer, but now that I think about it,
I actually played that game, and yeah, that game. I mean, I loved that game when I first played it, but like now it still holds up pretty well. But yeah, there are a lot of parts that do just seem like they kind of drag, and I didn't really notice it quite as much back when I first played it.
That's the only one that like always stands out to me every time I play it, because I think I've played through it 3 times now.
3 times?
Times?
That wasn't intentional. I think that's legitimately how many times I've played it. But yeah, every time that one part is just always the one that sticks out to me as padding. Like just blatantly obvious padding.
I could probably name like a million games with these parts in them, but the first one that always comes to mind for me is the Monkey Cave in Earthbound. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's
like, I get that, but like I've just like I've played Earthbound so much that I can do that. Like, I know that, like super easily. But yeah,
why it comes to mind though is because I've played it so many times that it's always just a part that it's like it's still kind of a just you just kind of trudge through it sometimes. It's just I don't want to do it. It's just so dumb because I was just you go to the monkeys, they ask for an item, you give it to them in the next area, and you got to run around doing that. And always, every time I get to the end when I need to get, the items I need to get from the fucking what's the monk guy, Tali Rama or whatever the fuck. And then my inventory's full, and I'm like, God damn it! I have to drop this shit or like use up something I don't want to use. And that's
I hear you.
It's always that part. It's not even like it's that long of a part either. I just hate going through that one.
Right.
Surprised nobody mentioned the Triforce hunt in Wind Waker.
I never had a problem with that.
I just figured that would come.
For me, okay. Actually, that raises a pretty good point because for me, just Wind Waker in general, like whenever I think, I should play through that again, and I just think, then I have to do all the mindless sailing and stuff because I just didn't really think of that as much.
Always been of a different mind with that because Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda, and I've absolutely loved all the sailing.
Honestly, you and I have a totally different mindset for that because for me, I think Wind Waker is kind of overrated. Like for a lot of that stuff.
Love it.
And honestly, even though I'm the one that brought it up, I still wouldn't even like say that as a part that just makes me not want to play it because, you know, kind of one of the things that got me through the Triforce hunt is just, you know, you don't have to do just the Triforce hunt. You're still going to be passing by a bunch of like random ass shit to go fuck around with on your way to getting each of the pieces. So like I never really had that much of a problem with having to sail across the entire fucking world to get them because I was still just doing stuff along the way. Like it took me a while to do it, but it didn't feel like a boring ass slog.
Well, another thing I didn't like is if you want to map out the islands, you have to, you know, get the fish food and feed the guy on each individual square. I guess that gets a little tedious too.
I mean, you could just climb a fucking tower. That takes forever too. But honestly, I would sooner like if we're going to the Great Bay Temple in Majora's Mask, I find to be far more annoying.
Everyone always brings that up, and like the handful of times I've played through that game, for some reason that temple just never even registers to me. Like it just, I do it and it's over, and then I move on. Like I
feel like I struggle with the tower temple more, but yeah.
All right, I don't have anything else.
I hear the boy. The boy says it's time.
The alarm has gone off.
It's a good stopping point anyway.
Yeah, even though I feel like we kind of ended on a bit of a downer, though. Talking about, you know, how much we don't like aspects of freaking Zelda of all things. So
I think it's important to be able to criticize this stuff, like especially stuff
absolutely.
To criticize Earthbound because you got to look at it that way.
Yeah, well, it's something where, you know, these series mean so much to us that, you know, when they do make missteps, it's kind of a big deal to us, you know.
Yeah.
So
everyone has that part of the game, no matter what. Everyone has that.
That's why it's often easier for me to say negative things about a game, even if it's something I enjoy, because the positive aspects, I mean, what more can I say? Usually it's positive. It's a thing I liked.
Yeah,
but
it's harder to have a discussion about it.
Yeah, like it's important to pick apart the things I didn't like because they're things that I want to see improvements on. Like I want things to be better. Like that's what criticism is for. And I feel like too many people overlook that and just think if you're criticizing something, you're just picking it apart for the sake of hating it. Yeah. It's not really always the case. Like criticism exists to be positive. I mean, yes, you can call something shit for being shit, but you have to distinguish, you know, when are you giving something constructive criticism versus when are you just tearing it apart because it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, some people just don't take constructive criticism particularly well. But yeah, I should probably get to bed because it's way later than I normally stay up. So
let Roger get to his boy.
Yeah, it was good talking to you guys.
Yeah, good talks all around. Getting comfy. Signing off.
Steve.
Big chungus,